Your warm-up for Sunday is 3 sets of 10 crab extensions, 10 scap push-ups, 10 Cossack squats, 10 reverse lunge with high step, and 10 burpees. Let's take a look. Looking at your warm-up, it starts with 10 crab extensions. We're going to have heels on the ground, feet about hip width apart, hands right underneath your shoulders. If you can tolerate it, middle fingers pointing toward your heels. If that's uncomfortable in your wrists, you can point your fingers any way you like. Pressing down through the floor, hips as high off the ground as you're able. Control back down to the ground. Press through the ground, squeeze at the top. Control back down. 10 crab extensions. Next part of your warm-up, 10 scap push-ups. We're gonna start in this strong push-up position and then bring your shoulder blades together. Get as close to the ground as you can without bending your arms. Shoulder blades apart, get as far away from the ground as you can. Close and far, shoulders retract and protract. During this whole thing, your elbows should not bend. 10 scap push-ups. The next part of our warm-up is Cossack squats. We're going to take a really wide stance with your legs, well outside of shoulder width. Staying as tall as you can, we're going to squat back, down, and to the side. So back, down, and to the side. At the bottom, I still want that heel on the ground, knee tracking over your toe, chest as tall as you can. If you can keep this other foot on the ground, great. You do not have to. Back up to neutral, back down to the other side. Control all the way through. 5 to your left, 5 to your right, 10 Cossack squats altogether. Continuing with the warm-up, reverse lunge with high step, starting nice and tall rather. You're going to step backwards, let that back knee kiss the ground, push hard off this front leg, drive up and through, step, lunge, step. If you have trouble controlling that back knee, miss the ground a little bit. I would rather you not quite get there than crash into the ground, do any damage to that knee. No bruising today, especially I don't know what kind of floor you're working on. 5 on your right, 5 on your left, 10 altogether. Finishing it off with 10 burpees. As ever, nice and tall, chest touches the ground. Hop right back up, get some air at the top. You're welcome to clap overhead if you like, not required for the warm-up. 3 rounds through. Your Metcon for Sunday, 2 rounds for time, 50 step jumps, 50 bag bent over rows, 25 per side of a couch single leg squat, and 50 devil press with bag. Time cap is 17 minutes. Let's take a look at it. Looking at your Metcon, 2 rounds for time, it starts with 50 step jumps. You could absolutely do this on a bottom stair, maybe the second stair, but be really careful. We want to be under control. Do not do this in the middle of the stairs or 3 stairs up, anything. It has to be very stable, has to be very in control. I'm going to show you a version on some books and then talk about a couple other ways to do this. So for my version, I'm going to turn the books sideways. They're the same height. And this, as you can see, is not very high. It doesn't have to be very high. You're gonna load those hips up, land as tall as you can, meaning standing all the way up or nearly all the way up. Whatever height you're jumping on, we do not wanna land here, nice and tall. Now, if I was doing this alone, if I wasn't doing this for the camera, I would push these books against the wall so they couldn't slide away in case I accidentally hit them. Whatever you're doing this on, please, please, please be safe. You could even jump up in the air for like 6 inches, really high jumps. That would absolutely work. 50 step jumps. Next part of your Metcon, 50 bent over bag rows. We're using the trusty backpack again. I have a 12-pound bag of cat litter in here. Close it nice and tight. You can use almost anything, books, water bottles, etc. Our bent over row, grasp that object, your butt goes back, your back stays strong. Shins are vertical, reach down, pull that object into your belly button, down again. Pull and down, pull and down. Obviously something heavier will be harder. I would like something you could absolutely do at least 20 unbroken reps. If not, potentially roll through the whole 50 unbroken. This is supposed to be hard. 50 bent over bag rows. Third movement in the Metcon, 50 pistols to a couch. That is a single leg couch squat. I'm going to demonstrate this with a chair. Something heavier, a couch will probably be easier, at least easier on the way down. It may be harder to get up. If you're going to do this on a chair, make sure it's pressed against a wall, something really solid so it doesn't slide away on you. You could potentially also do this to a set of stairs, a bench, books. If you have freestanding single leg squats, we could totally do that. However, this is a lot. So for using the couch, I think this angle is going to work. We'll find out. I'm going to balance on one leg, sit way back, tap the chair, come right back up. Ideally, we are not sitting all the way down, but that is the first modification I would make. If that tap up again, keeping that balance and control is really hard for you, sit down, sit right back up. You can break this up any way you want as long as you keep count. 25 on your right leg, 25 on your left leg, 50 single leg couch squats. Last movement of the Metcon, 50 devil's press with bag. This is a burpee to an overhead extension with load. We're still using our same bag. I have 12 pounds of cat litter in here. You are going to come on down to the ground. Depending on what object you have, you may just put the object in front of you. You could come down to it depending how soft it is. Certainly if you're using dumbbells or a weight plate or something like that, you can put it off to the side or out in front of you. Using this bag, I would actually bring my chest to the object. So to the ground, down, back up again, and then strong overhead. A version of object in front of you, you could, two ways here. Let's actually be honest about it. You could come on down, chest to the ground, back up, all the way overhead, or toss it on the ground, hit that burpee, back up again, it's in grabbing range, all the way overhead. Getting the object overhead. Ideally, it is one movement. Think like a two-armed snatch. Make sure you protect that lower back. On the way up, even down here, I'm gonna come down, drive hard, finish overhead. I am not going to pull it up here, press overhead. If this gets too hard, a modification would be to turn it into a clean and press, stop at your front rack, and press it overhead again. But ideally it is up and down, 50 times. This is a hard way to end it, and then you have one other whole round. 2 rounds for time. Your Sunday finisher, a shoulder burner, 4 sets of 10 reps. This is all gonna be holding the same object. 10 reps, thigh to eye level, 10 reps, eye to overhead, 10 reps, thigh to overhead, rest 1 minute. Here's what that looks like. All right, your finisher, a shoulder finisher favorite, 4 rounds, 10 holding an object, 10 thigh to eye level, 10 eye level to overhead, 10 thigh to overhead, rest 1 minute. So, any object you want. We are again using the trusty orange backpack filled with cat litter. It doesn't take much to make this finisher feel hard. You could hold almost anything. A book, a water bottle, etc. So it starts with holding pretty securely, ideally, button down, ideally hands about shoulder width apart. Don't worry too much about it. Nice and tall. I'm gonna tap my thighs, bring it to eye level. Tap my thighs, bring it to eye level. 10 of those immediately into, on the 10th rep here, thigh to eye level, pause, eye level to overhead. Eye level to overhead. 10 of those into thigh to overhead, thigh to overhead. So 30 rounds without a break, rest 1 minute, then do it 3 more times. Super fun, super tough. Make sure abs stay on. Don't get really bendy. Push it here. Don't quit. Have fun.